Grant Clayton here, 1% List. Fair warning, if you're watching this video, if you bought a house and you clicked speak to an agent through Zillow, or if you are a real estate agent and you don't want to consider that fee you charge, if you don't want to talk about it, this video might just piss you off. And I'm sorry, but it's probably gonna. For those of you that have been following the news, you'll realize that over the past couple of years, two different events have taken place regarding lawsuits in the real estate industry. First, the industry itself, along with some of the bigger brokerages, were sued for antitrust collusion and other monopolistic practices to inflate commissions to the public. So effectively to get more money from the public, to charge higher fees. Now, Zillow, the largest real estate website in the world, who makes its money selling leads, is getting sued by the public because those leads were being steered to real estate agents who successfully charged huge fees and were trained to send those leads to certain lenders. So you see, Zillow is paid on a referral percentage. And so the higher the fee the agent charges you, the more money Zillow makes. Okay? This has become a very viable tactic for real estate agents to generate business. There are agents paying tens of thousands of dollars a month or referral fees up to 40% to Zillow just for sending them leads. So let's look at the math of that. I want to delve into the mathematics of that to see why so many agents think this is a successful strategy. So I used AI. And according to AI, the typical broker split between an agent and their broker was 50-50 in 1970. So I asked AI, assuming an agent sold a house and charged 3% in 1970 with the average price home, which is about $26,000. After the broker split, what was their take home inflation adjusted to today? I'll give you that number in a minute. I then asked AI to find me a company that offers amazing commission splits because I didn't want to give my broker 50%. And they gave me a ton of brokerages that will let me keep upwards of 95%. I'm talking they'll charge me $100 a deal, $200 a deal. I mean, super cheap. So I asked AI, assuming the average sales price of a home is $450 today, which is about right, and I charge 3%, what's my take home? Inflation adjusted, the agent charging 3% in 1970 with 1970 broker to agent splits was making $3,295.52. So inflation adjusted, giving half your money to the broker, $3,295.52. An agent today with a 95% split, which is not at all hard to find, $12,825. $12,825 for the same thing today versus 1970. So selling the average price home with a modern commission split versus a 1970 commission split charging the same exact fee, an agent makes 389% more money today than in 1970. This is not even considering that we now have lockbox technology. We're not driving around to pick up keys. We have electronic signature platforms. We're getting documents handled remotely. We have smartphones. We have the internet. Heck, most of the time, the public is reaching out to their agent saying, hey, I found the perfect house. Would you please come show it to me? Are you available at 4:30? Would you please come show me this house? The client's finding the house for themselves. But somehow, with all the conveniences available to us today, we're making 389% more per deal. Now, I use 3% as a reference, but it's not quite 3%. It's like 2.7. That's what agents were charging back then, but that's what they're charging today. About 2.7. It hasn't changed at all. Since the lawsuits, it's actually gone up. How is that possible? How has housing outpaced inflation by so much and the job gotten so much more efficient, and we don't charge a penny less? Really? So if you want to hear something truly crazy, if you're watching this, you know that we charge, 1%. That's what we do. Even at 1%, we're making quite a bit more, inflation adjusted, than an agent in 1970 charging 3%. Simply put, houses have skyrocketed in price compared to inflation, and technology has made it so much more efficient to run a brokerage and offer real estate agents amazing splits, amazing caps, that, it's just off the charts. That's why they can offer these agents these amazing deals. But let's bring it back to Zillow. We choose to charge less money because it attracts business, it attracts listings. But even adjusted for inflation, assuming you have to pay Zillow 40%, okay? You're still making over 200% more than an agent from 1970 adjusted for inflation, okay? So you take that same real estate agent, okay? And that same real estate agent back then, okay? You're making so much more. You're making double. Inflation adjusted, you're making more than double. Even if you have to pay 40% to Zillow, just because the splits are so good. And because housing has gotten so completely unaffordable. Okay? So understand, the moment you go into Zillow and you click speak to an agent, what you're really saying is, please connect me to somebody who's going to charge me a higher fee. Because that's what they're trained to do. You get the fee as high as you can so that you can pay a higher referral back to Zillow, and you don't care because you are making so much more money than you used to make to do a job that is so much more easy than it used to be that you just don't care. Okay? So the real question is, if it's so much more profitable now due to these facts to sell a house, why aren't agents just willing to charge less? And the reason, and I've heard it time and time again, okay, especially from Zillow agents, you pay out huge fees to companies like Zillow to get the business. But then that business will lead to other business, referrals and whatnot. And then you charge them the huge fee that you're accustomed to getting. And then you get to keep all the money. And that's A-okay by the industry. Paying Zillow, A-okay for the industry. What's not A-okay for the industry? Charging less money. That's not okay. You should see the hate we get on a daily basis. So now it's the end of the year. I'm making this video very beginning of 2026, January 5th. We have agents that have done 50 to 130 transactions this year without paying for leads, not paying out huge referrals. Meanwhile, over 70% of real estate agents didn't close a deal last year. Over 70% didn't close a deal. Now, you would think those agents would be reaching out, trying to learn. What could I do differently? What are you doing? Or you'd think they'd be swiping the credit card to pay Zillow. But it's getting more and more and more expensive to do so because we have such an overpopulation of real estate agents, because it is so incredibly profitable to be a real estate agent. It's incredibly profitable. At the current splits and the current fees that everybody are charging their clients, incredibly profitable. So those agents, those 70+% of agents that didn't do a deal, it's not hard for them to look at our agents doing 15, 20, 30, 40 million a year in sales and understanding those agents made way more money than they did. But they would rather close less deals. They would rather close no deals or pay huge fees and charge the public way more than to save the public money. That is the mindset. It was the mindset before the lawsuits, and the mindset is still the exact same today. I know a young agent that just went through real estate school, and they said that our company got brought up during the class. They went in person to this class. And all the agents to be in there, I guess I should say, were joking that they don't want to make minimum wage selling homes. Isn't it ironic? And isn't it crazy that you can get licensed to be a real estate agent in a week or two? And I mean, look up how hard it is to do anything else, to get licensed to be a plumber, an electrician, to cut hair, air conditioner, to get licensed to do nails. All of them take immensely more time and more dedication than to be a real estate agent. How is this possible? Why is it nobody's talking about this? We have the average age of a first-time home buyer at 38 years old, and nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about how unaffordable it is. So, if you are a typical person who paid a real estate agent 3% to sell your house, how you feeling right now? If you're a real estate agent and you know your worth, and that 3% is worth it to you, and I know they're out there, I'd love to hear from you. I would love it if you are a real estate agent that charges 3, and there's coaches out there that will, if you pay them enough money, they'll teach you how to charge 4. If you're one of those agents, reach out to me. Sit through a podcast with me. Defend your position. Tell me where I'm going wrong. I'd love to hear from you. That offer's been on the table for a very long time, and nobody's found the time to take me up on it yet. Despite the fact 70% of agents didn't do a deal last year, which means if you did like 5 deals, you're a mega producer apparently. Considering 70% of your peers didn't do anything. Look, everybody seems to have a lot of free time. Come on a podcast. Tell me where I'm looking at this wrong. Tell me where I'm crazy. It's just wild. I'm going to keep preaching it until somebody starts to listen. Because the current system as it is set up is just designed to suck as much revenue as possible out of the client. And it leads to awful results. When you got 70% of agents that didn't do a deal, then that means 90% of agents probably did 5 deals or less. If you're watching this and you're a real estate agent, or even better, if you're watching this and you're not a real estate agent, if you did your job 5 times in a year, how good can you expect to be at it? I mean, if you're a doctor and you see 5 patients a year, I mean, are you going to know what's going on? If you're a CPA and you do 5 people's taxes in a year, are you a top CPA in your market if you do 5 people's taxes in a year? Probably not. How is this the system we're living in? I'm gonna keep preaching it till somebody takes me up on it, till somebody wants to listen. Come talk to me, come debate me, tell me where I'm looking at it wrong. This is Grant, 2026, picking up right where 2025 left off. Have a great year, everybody.